Well, good morning. We're starting this short ride at the marina, the west end of Exmouth. You can see here looking across the estuary, looking across as we go around. So we're going to cycle along the promenade here, and then we'll tell you a little bit about it as we go. So this is a permitted cycleway, as it is all the way along the front at Exmouth, which makes it a joy for cyclists. It's a September morning, it's a Thursday, and it's a bit overcast, a bit chilly. Shouldn't be too many people out today. Apartments on our left with some fantastic views across the estuary. You can see the clouds in the distance looking rather like rain coming this way. We stop here a second and just look across there at the sand. That's Dawlish Warren, the other side of the estuary, sort of nature reserve. More apartments, a lot of them holiday lets, retirement homes, but all with very nice outlooks, because that is west facing, so it will collect the afternoon and evening sun. Down to the Sailing Club, and round now to the marina. We'll just do a slight detour here to show you the boats in the marina. So this is the small marina, panning round now. And now we go across a footbridge, which they don't like you to cycle over, so we'll just walk that bit. Cyclist dismount crossing bridge. That's okay, we can manage that. And if you look down here, this is where the ferries come in. The ferry for Starcross runs every hour, at least in the high season, and a few other boat trips leave from this quay. Various cafes here, very nice on a summer's evening. And details of the Starcross ferry, which runs on the hour, 40 minutes past the hour. Right, we're going to ride now. Oh, I should add that you can take your bike on the Starcross ferry for a small additional fee. And that means you can do a circular cycle trip from Exmouth up to Exeter, cross the river there, come back down the other side to Starcross, and then take the ferry back to Exmouth. But you do need to check that the ferry is running. When it's very low tide, of course the ferry can't get in, so although theoretically it runs every hour, there are times when you'll be stranded. The other thing to note is that the other side, over at Starcross, there are a lot of steps to get up and down to cross the railway line, and you'll have to carry your bike, and that's not a problem unless you're the owner of an electric bike, which tend to be rather on the heavy side. Right, we're cycling along the prom now. This little bit is hidden behind a bit of a sea wall. I'll get across in a second and you'll get a better view. On our left, all the Victorian hotels. Very popular with coach parties. Normally coaches parked along here. But we're going to drop out on the prom, which is actually a cycleway. We'll drop out on the promenade. It's a nice long promenade. Really is a great thing about Exmouth. There's a ramp here we'll use. On your left you'll see the Premier Inn. That must be one of the nicest situated Premier Inns in the country. Panoramic views across the river. Not many people out today because it is chilly, probably about 13 degrees. But on a summer's day this promenade will be packed with people, and you'll have trouble with a bike wending your way through. The other thing to be careful of is people unloading from their cars. They tend to go straight across the track without realising it is a track. It's one a very pleasant ride, very easy, ideal for children. Obviously flat all the way, just a bit of care needed. Passing people. Bit of a queue there for the parking machine. On the left is the Ocean Entertainment Centre and a Budgeon's supermarket. Cafes on the right. Now there's quite a lot of work going on up here on the left. They're building new premises for restaurants and shops in a big courtyard area. I'm told that the restaurant will be very upmarket, multi-starred type of thing. I'm not sure whether that really suits Exmouth, which is more down to earth, but we shall see. Be open for next season. You can see here all the paving going in. Really nice spot, and plenty of bike parking. Hooray! We've got beach huts on the left hand side. Strange thing about Exmouth is the beach huts are the other side of the road, so you can sit outside your beach hut on a sunny day and count the cars. Someone who's not a beach hut user, that's actually probably a good thing. Certain resorts, like the next resort along, Budley Salterton, the beach huts are between the promenade, or between the path and the beach. So as you walk along the promenade, you just get a view of the back of the beach huts. Pretty awful. That's not to knock Budley Salterton. A nice quiet resort. Pebble Beach, as opposed to Exmouth here where we have Sandy Beach, and you can walk along the cliffs between the two. I'm guessing about 5 miles cliff walking, very picturesque apart from when it passes through a couple of caravan parks, but some lovely views from the cliffs as you do the coast path. We're coming up now to the lifeboat station. I have never seen the lifeboat launched, although there is one in there, but there was an incident a few weeks back I noted on the news where the lifeboat did have to be launched. Being a river estuary where it meets the sea, there are some fairly strange currents out there. Not to say it's dangerous for bathing, A lot of swimming and bathing goes on, and there are lifeguards, but I think if you go further out you do have to be careful. It's quite a choppy sea today, quite a wind. And as you can see, the promenade is used by walkers, runners, and cycling, skateboarding. Electric scooters all permitted. Now the bit sticking out into the sea there is Ockham Point. That's quite an easy walk from the end of this promenade, although there is a zigzag path to get up the cliffs. We are going to the end here, which is called Ockham Gate. This is a dead end. This parking along here on my left is extremely popular in the summer because you can sit in your car and just gaze at the sea. You don't have to do very much. Normally it's very difficult after about 9:30 to find a spot along the front here. But today you can see, turning the weather to a more chilly time, and it's all yours. The beach at the far end here is particularly popular with dog walkers because you are permitted to let your dog run free, so it's very popular with the locals. Here we are, we're coming down towards the end of the promenade now, and it does just end with just the footpath that zigzags up over the cliffs. There's a cafe at the end here. Up high on your left for takeaway food. If you look at, I'll do a better shot of the beach at the moment when we come round. We'll stop here a second. You can now see Bumble in the Sea is the cafe. Again, plenty of bike parking down here. If you want to go for have a look at the sea, you can lock your bike up. And this is the end of it. And we'll just stop and have a look at the sea here. I think with the tides out you can get further around the beach, around that end of that cliff. Now if we pan to the right, it looks very stormy today. Out in the bay there are parked or moored a number of cruise ships because we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic. At one time I could count 5 out there. I can't see today, I can see 2, but there's probably more lost in the mist. One of them at least looked like a Cunard liner, traditional shape, blue hull, red funnel. I'm going to pan around and just show you the way back down the promenade. So that's it, a pleasant little ride along the promenade at Exmouth.